This slide basically focuses on the usage of heat maps. So in this slide, we are trying to depict that how the heat map can graphically represent the kind of intensity of data, right? So if we can use definitely different color code for representing the intensity of data, but then again, this is a two-dimensional grid which helps you to create a matrix or map and basically helps you to visualize the data in the most easily understandable format. So if you see this, you can always see that the color code which we are using, right? So the color with the lighter, amber, it represented the PM values less than 10. So as it become more darker, the PM values increases. So the color with no data or things which have no data is all white or blank. So again, the heat map can be a better way of representing the intensity of your data, how concentrated your data is based on the intensity of your color. So there can be a question asked in exam based on this heat map, and you can definitely give a visual uh, graph which shows that how the data get represented. And most of these questions are relatively easy because you have to pick up the distribution of data with the kind of the values which are put across. You can easily find it across. So your heat map is again a graphical representation which uses your color coded region to visualize the intensity and magnitude of values between the two-dimensional grid. So it basically gives you the overall distribution and the overall population, how populated is that area based on the kind of distribution of colors per se. In this example, your average annual population weighted as a PM 2.5 concentration is represented in this heat map. So in a similar way, you can have the kind of another heat map created wherein you can put your your average or your mileage of a bike, saying that which of the cars or which of your bikes provide you the best mileage. So you can plot them, and then you can have the color coding done with the color amber representing mileage less than 15 or 20 20 kilometers per liter, or with the with the color code more, say red, representing more than 20 or 25 kilometer per liter. So you can always have the similar kind of heat map generated for other example. On the similar line, you can always have a heat map created for the income set of people, right? So if you are trying to map the locality, so if you are staying in say X region, or if you are staying in a downtime, right, you can have the heat map created for the locality. You can always say that people who are staying in this downtime or downtown, who are living in this downtown or who are living in suburb area, they can have the income distribution based on the heat map which is provided across. So these are the relatively simple questions, and they are easy to visualize, and they are easy to give the answers, because you just simply need to answer it based on your color code, and the question can definitely be asked in exam for these kind of things. The next section, and this happens to be the last section for this presentation, and there can be a question or a couple of questions from this as well. So section 5.3, design and tools. So talking about this as part of section 5.3.1, summarizing the overall purpose of aesthetics design in data visualization. So we have discussed about the various graphs. As a part of visualization, we have discussed about various graphs which can be used for organization to make the right set of decisions. So the most important thing in these graphs or visuals is how you are trying to design the aesthetics of these, whether it's your graph, whether it's your heat map, whether it's your pie chart or any other plots. You need to have your you need to have the right set of uh, combination of colors which can help them to appeal, which can help them to understand those graph in an easier way, right? So whenever you're trying to present those visuals, it is it is important those graphs are not too cluttered, or they are not too excessive, from the perspective of colors. You cannot have multiple colors used, right? There are few standard set of guidelines which we need to maintain when you are trying to put the kind of aesthetic values for these visualizations output. So if you talk about the overall colors, we should, or we can have less than 7 colors. So we can limit our visualizations to less than 7 colors, right? So if you have more than 7 to 8 colors, it becomes relatively tough for the audience, for the stakeholders to identify and distinguish between those graphs. So at max, you can have maximum 7 colors which can be used for your graphical representation, and we should use those distinct 7 colors when you're trying to have those things clustered across. So there has to be distinct color with a U factor to it, so that you can understand and you can find the differentiation between those colors, and then you will be able to appreciate the distinction in your data point. Obviously, we should be able to provide a filter that should allow us to select those pre-selected palettes for the color blindness. So we cannot assume, we cannot think that all people will be able to understand and will be able to visualize all those graphs with the colors. We need to be understanding, there can be few people who might have those visual impairments in terms of color blindness. So we need to be providing those pre-selected palettes for those set of people, so that they can select the color based on their likelihood. So the kind of options has to be given across. Also, it's not only the color, culture plays a vital role. So we need to put an attention on the kind of culture or the kind of country or geographic location we are trying to build those graphs. So some of the organization or some of the countries, they put some specific effort on X color or Y color. So we need to pay, and we need to be sensitive to those cultural aspects. So we need to pay extra attention to those cultural contexts when you are trying to do the designing and when you're trying to present those data. So suppose if you're going to say Middle East, suppose if you're going to say Europe, suppose if you're going to the likes of other neutral continents, those colors might not be so much important. But then for specific geography or region, as I said, for Middle East, you need to be extra sensitive when what kind of color you're trying to use it across. So you should be able to put your designs and presentation based on the kind of culture, based on the kind of country, based on the kind of region which you're having. So your color and culture plays a vital role when you're trying to design your aesthetics for your data visualization.